This presentation has been prepared jointly by the Seoul Metropolitan Government and the UNDP Seoul Policy Center for Global Development Partnerships. In this presentation, we'll share how Seoul's Clean Construction System, or CCS for short, has increased efficiency, accountability, and transparency of Seoul's public construction management through full digitalization of its business processes and real-time public disclosure of information on its construction projects. The system won the prestigious UN Public Service Award in 2013 in recognition of its innovation and potential for application in other countries. Together with Seoul, we in UNDP shared this system in December 2015 in Seoul with more than 70 participants coming from 20 countries. And we are now providing follow-up advisory and technical support to selected countries such as Ukraine, Jordan, Uganda, Vietnam, and Thailand for application of this system and lessons learned at the country level. First of all, why does this subject matter for us? With the rapid urbanization trend around the world, the role of the government in providing the necessary physical infrastructure, such as public buildings, roads, bridges, and mass transportation system, is becoming all the more important for public service delivery and welfare of its ever-increasing urban populations. Without increasing the quality and accountability of public investment infrastructure, it would be difficult for us to promote sustainable urban development. Yet, the public construction sector in many places around the world suffer from mismanagement and culture of secrecy, leaving taxpayers' resources wasted and citizens uninformed about important developments in their own communities. Without access to real-time and meaningful information on public construction sector, it is often difficult for citizens to monitor the projects and hold the relevant authorities accountable for delivering quality public infrastructure investments. In this context, Seoul's Clean Construction System provides a concrete example of how to strengthen the accountability and transparency of the public construction sector, which accounts for significant portions of the national as well as local government budgets across major cities in the world. In relation to the Sustainable Development Goals that the international community agreed upon at the UN General Assembly in September 2015, enhancing transparency and efficiency in public construction management also directly links to implementing Goals 11 on sustainable cities and communities, along with Goal 9 on infrastructure, as well as Goal 16 on governance. Then let me start by explaining how and why the Clean Construction System was introduced in Seoul. The Republic of Korea's development trajectory has been remarkable. What you see here are the pictures of Seoul in 1950. But in less than 60 years, Korea, which was a country devastated by civil war, transformed into one of the world's most developed nations. At the same time, such rapid economic and social development was not without problems. The country struggled with problems of corruption, shoddy construction practices, and efficiency in the public construction management. In addition, construction workers and subcontractors at the bottom of the business pyramid were often the first ones to suffer the negative consequences of corruption and inefficiency in the sector. Against these challenges, citizens and policymakers in Korea together made concerted efforts to find a systematic solution to the problems of shoddy construction. And in this context, the Seoul Metropolitan Government introduced in 2012 the Anti-Corruption Clean Construction System, or the CCS. The CCS consists of two main parts. One Project Management Information System, or 1PMIS, for digital construction project management, and then Construction Information Disclosure System, or Allimi in Korean, for sharing that information managed through 1PMIS directly with citizens. 1PMIS provides a standardized, periodic, and digitalized reporting system with visual evidence which captures all the dimensions of construction project management. Most of the project data in one PMIS is then automatically sent to the Allimi site as per the specific open data criteria of the Seoul government. Through this automatic linkage with the one PMIS, Seoul's construction information disclosure system, the Allimi, provides the citizens with public information portal that never becomes dead storage of outdated information. Now, let us look into the one PMIS more closely. This chart shows key representative menus and categories of clean construction system. Due to the limited time, we cannot cover all these categories and menus in detail in this video presentation. So we'll just highlight a few. For the full details, please kindly refer to the resource book on the clean construction system that UNDP and Seoul government co-authored. They are available for a download at the UNDP Seoul Policy Center's website. First, on the chart, the project overview menu on the left consists of the project status, contract status, organization, and web camera categories. It provides an overview and summary of each of Seoul's public construction projects. Here, project managers can monitor and manage all the contracts and payment details of prime contractors as well as subcontractors, with all the supporting documents about those payments. With the web camera, managers can monitor the sites through real-time web camera images transmitted from the multiple construction sites around Seoul. Next, in the progress reporting menu that you see, daily work reports, weekly progress reports, monthly progress reports, as well as delay reports are all digitally submitted, managed, and approved online. Contractors also need to register supporting documents and relevant project photos in one PMIS when submitting their progress reports. Next, in the safety management category that you see in the middle of the chart, Seoul's one PMIS consolidates all the relevant materials for the safety inspection and construction machinery safety check, whereby all the important documents for safety checks are digitally managed. Further, in the history and record management menu, one PMIS digitally manages all the performance evaluations, accident history records, as well as penalty imposition records of contractors and subcontractors. Over time, the data stored here not only provides important data source of safety-related policy work, but also help ensure that contractors and subcontractors pay greater attention to the quality of their work, as their records are all displayed and can act as a disadvantage in their future bidding processes. So in a nutshell, what's good about one PMIS of Seoul? Conventional paper reporting is inefficient as it requires repeated editing and storing of a large volume of documents that are produced in the course of a project. It also breeds corruption risks, as managers receive handwritten documents and reports on an ad hoc basis, and information is not freely shared among all project stakeholders. For instance, when handwritten documents and in-person visits are used to seek approvals and permissions during the course of the project, inappropriate relationships may develop during the subcontractor, supervisors, and contractors, such as over private gatherings or dining outs. But one PMIS has reduced the amount of unnecessary paperwork among all project stakeholders by allowing online registration, approval, and storage of various construction project documents directly on the shared online server. In turn, this has minimized unprofessional personal contacts among project participants with expectations of inappropriate favors. Furthermore, it has contributed to establishing a more transparent reporting line between the managing body and contractors by standardizing the business and reporting procedures and displaying all the reports, supporting documents, and performance records online for all project stakeholders to monitor and follow up. In the next section of the presentation, I will explain how all the information in one PMIS becomes live source of information for the citizens through Allimi. This diagram that you see on the screen shows how one PMIS, Allimi, and citizens are connected to each other. Now here on the left side, you can see the main screen of Allimi. Once you visit the homepage of the Allimi, you can run the search either by typing the specific name of the construction project you are looking for or by clicking on the administrative district you would like to look up on the map of Seoul. To date, Allimi has disclosed information on some 2,600 public construction projects in Seoul, drawn from a real-time transmission of information stored in the 1PMIS. Now, what types of information is disclosed through Allimi, you may ask? So this chart summarizes the kinds of information provided under each category. Once again, we do not have the time to go over all the details in this presentation, so please kindly refer to the resource book for full description of the Allimi information. But in the next few slides, we'll just browse through the information disclosed for each category. The first is the project overview page, where citizens can easily obtain key project information such as the exact location, construction period, total contract value, and most importantly, the names and telephone numbers of the responsible project managers in the Seoul government, main construction company, as well as supervision company, so that citizens can call directly. And this is a powerful mechanism. The next section features information regarding the contract details of not only prime contractors but also subcontractors. The next section features information regarding the contract payment status and disbursement details. Citizens here can access the information on the status of Seoul's payments to prime contractors and to subcontractors for each project, including the exact amount, date, and receiving entities of the payments. The next section features construction site photo updates. Citizens can monitor the weekly progress of the projects with supporting photos. They can therefore check whether payments were made in line with the actual progress in the construction. The section releases detailed information on project managers here. Name of the companies as well as the positions, duties, and names of responsible individuals are all displayed here on the page. Once again, this kind of information acts as a powerful deterrent against corrupt practices, as citizens can literally call the persons in charge and ask questions to real persons concerning the project payments, contracts, and status, and so on. The next section provides information on how construction completion dates and designs have changed with supporting documents that explain such changes. Why design changes? Well, this is very important for anti-corruption purposes because corruption often takes place with illegal design changes. In other words, when contractors and responsible managers claim the same payment while not constructing the buildings and the roads according to the original plan. And that's why Seoul government has included this type of information on Allimi. Next, Allimi also provides detailed information on how contractors and supervisors violated regulations, contractual obligations, or safety procedures. Here, the name of the responsible company is disclosed. Furthermore, citizens can find information on the consequential penalties that the Seoul government imposed on those companies, as well as follow-up actions undertaken in response to those penalties. Next, what you see is the Ask the Assistant Mayor page of Allimi, where citizens can make their inquiries, complaints, and suggestions concerning public construction projects managed by the Seoul Metropolitan Infrastructure Headquarters directly to the Assistant Mayor. Every morning, upon logging onto the administration system, Seoul officials actually receive the list of the questions, comments, and complaints from the citizens. And the responsible manager then must post their replies on the site, and the date of the response will be also indicated on the screen. Seoul has also made a mobile version of Allimi so that citizens can access all the information on Seoul's construction projects with their cell phones, and the usage of the Allimi site on the smartphones is ever increasing. Now, what's the extent of the real information disclosed, and how much Seoul's citizens access? How much citizens are actually accessing the construction information? In terms of citizens' access, in 2015 alone, 164,419 people used the Allimi through the website, while another 5,867 people accessed the information through the mobile application. In 2016, as of October 13, a total of 108,638 website visits were made, with additional almost 6,000 visits through the mobile. Then what are some of the lessons learned for policymakers? Based on Seoul's construction system, the following lessons can be drawn for policymakers. First, corruption risks in public construction can be reduced through the establishment of a standardized and digitalized management mechanism, which discloses all the project-related reports and approvals online and minimizes unnecessary personal contacts in the management process. While there is no perfect solution or magic bullet for addressing corruption and inefficiency in the public construction management, practical systems such as Seoul's CCS can indeed make a difference to reducing corruption risks over time by changing the business processes and the underlying work culture for greater transparency. Second, in order to increase efficiency and transparency in public construction management, it is crucial to provide real-time information from the business processes right to citizens without increasing the workload on the part of the government officials as well as project contractors and supervisors. There is little use in the old-time approach of uploading one-time information for the public. Creating one-time information for the sake of disclosing does not last long. In Seoul's case, by establishing an automatic linkage between the project management system and the public information sharing system, CCS ensured that Allimi provides a live source of information without manual uploading of every piece of information. Number 3, strong political will and decision from the top leadership for greater transparency and accountability is absolutely critical to improved public construction management. Why? Because systems such as the public construction system affect real people and their everyday business practices. And because resistance inevitably comes from people who used to benefit from the old practices. For this reason, determination of Seoul's decision makers to disclose all of Seoul's policy information beyond the construction sector has been absolutely critical in terms of how Seoul and their project partners have adapted to the changes in the work environment that came with the introduction of the clean construction system. Lastly, information disclosure to the citizens can create an underlying culture of accountability, increase social trust, and reduce conflicts surrounding public construction projects. In any society, trust between the government and citizens is critical, and trust cannot be generated without a transparent flow of real-time information about the actual processes of delivering public service. It is not enough to release the after-fact information of results only, because a lot of such information can be manufactured according to the political and interest groups. As shown in Seoul's case, the real-time and accurate provision of all the relevant information in public infrastructure projects can empower the citizens to strengthen the monitoring of the administrative processes and build a culture of accountability and transparency. This, in turn, increases the public trust and support in the public construction sector. Furthermore, in Korea's experience, the transparent disclosure of information has made a contribution to reducing the costs of social conflict. As democracy advances, more people tend to exercise their right to know, and the government secrecy increases the costs of social conflict. Authorities can therefore reduce social costs by building a voluntary information disclosure system, which enables citizens to make their inquiries through an institutional channel, as in the case of Seoul's Allimi, as well as the city's related public inquiry and complaint handling mechanisms. So in conclusion, Seoul's clean construction system shows that providing real-time information and receiving citizens' inquiries on public construction projects not only help empower citizens, but also help reduce corruption risks and build social trust, which are fundamental to achieving inclusive and transparent urban governance and achieving sustainable development. Now, if you find Seoul's clean construction system interesting, how would you start developing CCS-like approaches in your own context, you may ask? Obviously, exact mechanisms would differ depending on the country's specific needs, IT environment, as well as policy and legal framework. But we can see that at least two things are critical. First, develop an online system for standardized and digitalized reporting and information sharing with visual evidence for construction management. Second, create a user-friendly information disclosure system with an automatic linkage to the online project management system. Now, for full details on Seoul's system and guidelines of its application, please kindly refer to the Clean Construction System Resource Book for Practitioners, which UNDP and the Seoul Metropolitan Government co-authored. Once again, you can download the book at the website of the UNDP Seoul Policy Center, and it's available not only in English, but also in Spanish, Arabic, Thai, Vietnamese, and Russian. If you have any further questions, please kindly contact the responsible managers at the UNDP Seoul Policy Center and the Seoul Metropolitan Government. Thank you for your attention.